I'm Cody. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Cody.
Hey, it's a little nervous getting up here in front of everybody, but I know a bunch of y'all, so I believe I'll be all right. I just want to say thank you, Chad, for asking me to come up here and share my story. A few things out of the way. This is my home group, Keeping It Sober. We have a meeting on Tuesdays, open discussion from 8 to 9, and speaker meeting tonight from 8 to 9. So I guess what tonight I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you in a general way what I used to be like, what happened, and what I'm like today. Well, I was born in Pinehurst, North Carolina, over here in Moore County, to my mother, Sue Ellen Thomas. Now she's Sue Ellen Thomas, Sue Ellen Russell, and my father, Ricky Allred. I have through my dad, I have two sisters and a brother, and on my mama, I have an older brother, Patrick, which by the grace of God today he's in the treatment center down in Rockingham. You know, that's a blessing there. I've been waiting for that for a while. He's got a little over 5 months now. And I got an older sister that's 31. She's got my niece and my niece and nephew. I got a little boy, my son Braylon. My brother's got a little boy. And Cody, my stepdad's son, which has been my brother. I consider my brother, been his part of my family for 21 years. They're about to have a baby in March, so I'm really excited about that. But when I was growing up, I don't know, man, it was kind of tough for me because my mom and my dad split when at a very young age, at 2 years old. So when I was growing up, you know, my mama was the one that was trying to, you know, teach me how to do the right things. You know, she was making sure I had to, you know, I was only seeing my dad on the weekends. And when I'd go see my dad on the weekends, it was, you know, he taught me how to do a lot of things. He taught me how to hunt, how to fish, you know, enjoy the outdoors, which I really love to do today. I went rabbit hunting today. So, and that's what me and my brother did when we went down there. We went out and shot BB guns and, you know, had a good time with Daddy. But I also seen what alcohol did to my dad as I was growing up. I seen what it did to a lot of my family. On my daddy's side, all my uncles and my cousins, everybody drank. My uncle died from cirrhosis of the liver. My daddy died. I get to that. But when I was, you know, growing up, I seen that scene over here with my dad, you know, the fighting scene, Daddy teaching me how to fight, you know, watching Daddy how to drink, raise hell, my uncles and all them. And then on my mama's side, you know, like, yeah, they did their thing on the weekends, but they was teaching me how to live. You know, my mom was teaching me good morals, how to respect people, how to treat them right. But, you know, growing up, man, they made sure we was well taken care of, had a good home. You know, I would basically, you know, like, it hit me the other day. My mom was sitting there telling me, and she was like, you know, at one point while y'all was growing up, you know, y'all had everything y'all needed, a house, clothes, way to school, anything you needed, but we didn't have but $15 in the bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, they made sure we had what we needed. And I'm very grateful for that today. I don't know, I'm truly blessed. It took me getting sober to see what my family's actually done for me. But I grew up playing baseball, man. I'm very passionate about sports, man. Some of my buddies that live with me, they know, like, I hate to lose. Like, I hate it. So, I play baseball. I love baseball. That's my sport. I played baseball growing up, basketball. You know, like, me and my brother, we got four-wheelers and stuff when we was younger, man. Like, that's how we escaped, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'd go off riding or we'd go fishing or go hunting, doing something. But as I was going through school, man, I was this kid, like, y'all see me today, man. I'm a happy-going kind of guy, man. I just like to enjoy life, you know, make people laugh. But, like, that's how I kind of, you know, when I was growing up, felt a little different, man, because I would act out, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and my best friend, I don't know, he's somewhere in here, like we would torture the teacher, you know what I'm saying? Like, flip pencils at her and paper clips and, you know, like, fight. I mean, that's what we did. And I stayed in trouble, man, all the way up, you know, coming up through grade school, like our kindergarten teacher retired because of me and my best friend. Literally, like she did. Miss Elliott. God, I love that woman. Yeah. But so, I grade school come up, I mean, I did somewhat good. I wasn't always bad, Got into middle school, I tried to not get in trouble as much, but I did. I think sometimes they just let me go through school. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I was in middle school, I was diagnosed with what they call ADHD. That's what they diagnosed me with because I couldn't sit still. The teacher would turn her back and I'm over here flipping somebody in the ear or throwing a pencil or something, just being stupid. And my 8th grade year, because of, where is he at? Because of my best friend, there he is. I got kicked off the baseball team because of him. We get in a fight in the art room. Damn. But my 9th grade year, that's whenever I I lost my best friend, and when I was 17, though, that's where the trouble led us, man. I don't think you mind me sharing this, but when we were 17, he got locked up for 5 years, and I didn't get to see him for 5 years. So, that was tough. But the day he left, we met the same time, 5 years to the day, at the Buggy Festival in Carthage, which was really cool. But when I was 15, that's whenever I took my first drink. It was me, and my brother, another friend, Tyler Whitaker, Heather, and I don't know who else, but there was other stuff also. That's a part of my story, man. I drank, but I also used other stuff, and I've heard my sponsor share it brought me here faster because I don't think that me drinking alcohol wouldn't have got here as soon as I did. But man, whenever we got drunk that night for New Year's, I don't know, man, I really liked it. It made me come out of my shell. You know what I'm saying? I could laugh, joke, pig. I do it today, but I wasn't scared then. I wasn't scared to go up and say, hey, what's up? Jump in the middle of the crowd, be that wild guy. And that's where it started for me. From then on out, when I got my license when I was 16, I would leave and go to my dad's on the weekend, and that's where I drank. Me and my daddy drank together. We drank and we fished. I loved to fish, but that's what me and daddy did. We drank and we fished, and by me drinking, not just down there, man, I was drinking and I used to love to drink and drive. That was just something I did, and I found myself a couple times. I went to a guy, his name's Steven he used to live over in Skyline, and dude, we went out I was 16. I remember it was yesterday. I was 16, had a fake ID, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get in the bar, So they got me in the bar at 16 and was drinking. And I got back and I got into the moonshine in his freezer, and I started drinking his moonshine. And the next day, I wake up at my mama's house in the bed, damn, how did I get here? And I drove drunk all the way from my mom close to Aberdeen all the way to Robbins, and I don't remember none of it. Thank God today I didn't kill nobody when I was out doing what I was doing. But whenever I was 17, I got my I caught charges all the way up though. I caught some minor drug charges in school. I caught assault charges, run from the police officer at school. I don't know, man. I look at my record today, and it's that record held against me as I got older. But when I was 17, I got my first DWI. I remember bits and parts of it. Me and a friend, a few other guys went drinking, and he told me, he's like, man, why don't you just stay here? And I was like, no. And I drove drunk through Robbins, and that's whenever I got my first DWI, and they allowed me to keep my license. And in that time frame, I met my son's mother, Summer, which we was together for 7 years. You know, up to that, man, today we're not together because, you know, we just weren't meant to be together, you know, but we also was toxic for each other. Like we did a lot of stuff together that we shouldn't have did, but, you know, that's what my 4 steps for, I guess. Yeah, I got the DWI when I was 17. I also caught the 6 felony indictment charges when I was 17. But they allowed me to keep my license till I was 18 when I graduated, and after I graduated, I drove a scooter for a year. Now that was funny. Me and my girlfriend riding up 15501 on a damn scooter. Oh my God, dude! Like, what the? But yeah, I drove the scooter for a year, and thank God she got her license after that. Like I couldn't get my license back because I didn't want to put no money towards nothing. Like I wanted to hustle. Like that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like even though I drank, like that was what I used to do, and I enjoyed it when I did it. I don't know. I used to get a thrill out of, you know, doing bad things. But today I know I can't do that. But like I said, man, the drugs was a part of my story. You know, I got in some stuff when I was 18 to, you know, I still drank, but I love to do other stuff. That's what I did. I just used it as different substances, but I did it for 2 years, from 21 to 23, and then when I was 23, my son, I'll just say it, I was going to the clinic down in Sanford. That's where I was going, and in 2013, I got locked up, and I did a little 30-day sentence for probation. And then, like, whenever I did that, like, my mama then was like, "Yay," you know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting locked up. Like, he's gonna, you know what I mean? I'm telling him on the phone, you know, things are gonna be different. I'm gonna get out, and, you know, I ain't gonna use, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, Summer's pregnant, laying on the couch, sick, and, like, she's hating me because I'm feel like the day I get out, I'm feeling so good that I'm cleaning the whole house. You know what I'm saying? I'm vacuuming and cleaning, and I'm high the next day when I get out. Like, you know, that was just, it had, you know, it got that point to where, hold on, let me back up for a second. You know, before we went there when we was 20, me and Summer was living out my car. It got real bad. I ended up selling a shotgun that my Uncle Tony gave me for that he had for about 30 years. I sold it just to, you know, thought that I was doing something different, you know, and, you know, I love how, like, right there at that point, I think it says in Bill's story, it says, you know, it was a luxury for me in the beginning, but then it became a necessity. Like, I had to have it, like, every day. Like, I woke up in the mornings and I had to have that to get me going through the day. And if I didn't want to go nowhere. Like, that's what I did. And, you know, I thought I was doing something different going to Sanford. And, you know, I was living in my mama got me that, you know, she let me move back in after, you know, I told her what I was doing. She thought I was doing really well. And then, like, I ain't even told my mama where I'm at. Like, we're sitting in there and, like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, it's the police. And I look out the peephole and it's my mama standing there. And I'm like, oh. I was like, hey, Mom. She's like, she expected to come in and find, you know, me trashed out in the hotel room, things bad, but, like, it wasn't. And she allowed me to come home, and my son's mama, Summer, had gotten pregnant in 2000, right around February of 2013. And my son was born in December of 2013, and due to this disease of addiction, my son was in, I'm not ashamed to share it today because I got a healthy little boy that loves me to death. You know, he's really healthy. He's a loving kid, man. I couldn't ask for more. But he was in, all because of what I was doing at the time. Me and his son's mama, he was in the NICU for 3 weeks. But he come out and be a really healthy little baby. And me and my son's mama was living, we ended up getting this little place over in Carthage. And for the next, 2 years, man, like, yeah, I was working, but I couldn't hold a job. Like, every 2 or 3 months, I'm getting fired, I'm getting a new job. Like, all I want to do is use every day, drink. Like, when I didn't have what I really wanted, like, I could drink because I knew it was gonna, give me the same effect. Like, I'd have that ease and comfort. Like, my body was like, like, I just felt like I was normal. You know what I mean? And in that house, man, like, man, just some, I hated that place. Now I look back on it, man, like, and I drank every day. I did other things every day. My dad had gotten sick with cancer about the same time I moved in there. He fought cancer for about 2 years. But my dad was sick. And like today, man, I really wish I could go back, man, and just give me them last 2 years with him today, because like I would like to have them 2 years back with my dad before he passed. My dad, he was a really good man, but he just couldn't quit drinking. Like, he just couldn't quit doing it. And, like, when he got sick, like, my dad just gave up. You know what I mean? Like, he got in with us and hustling and bustling and, because that's what he did his whole life. Like, he drank and run the streets and fought. And even though he, like, as we call him, a functioning alcoholic, he didn't lose his house or his trucks or none of that stuff. But he just couldn't get away from it. And, but my dad, like, at that place there, I got really bad off within them 2 years. And my dad, he ended up dying March the 11th. My grandma died. My daddy's mother died February the 4th, which was my best friend. Like, I had some stories at my grandma's house. Like, I love my grandma. I could go there at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and she would, like, just open arms, let me come in and sleep on her couch. Many nights. Over at the trailer park, over on Camp Easter, man. I miss that. Not the life I was living, but I miss my grandma. She died February the 4th, 2015. My dad died March the 11th of 2015. And, like, at the time I got in a car wreck, man, and, like, this is how I see, like, when I look back on it, how God was in my life as I was going through what I was doing, passing out drunk in ditches while I was driving, like, getting in car wreck, like wrecking over on the dirt road and stuff like that. And my dad was in Durham, laying in hospice, and I got hit over here on Highway 5. A lady, it was me in the back seat, my son, she was driving, had another boy in the front, and the lady hit us in that little bitty car I had and crushed the whole back of the car, and it blew glass all over me and my son. And like, that's where I see God works, man, because if it had been just a hair bigger vehicle, like, it probably would have killed me and my son that day. And like, all because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. Like, I'm out doing, what I do. And, but my dad, he died after that wreck. I was up there, seeing my dad. And my dad died in hospice March 2015, March 11, 2015. And I'd already planned to go to a treatment place. Like, I had some money put back. My brother was going to watch my place for me. My brother was still doing his thing. So I went, right after my dad died, I went to what they call Butner. In Durham. It's a little 2-week, 14-day deal. I went up there, man, and it was miserable. Like they showed us AA and NA in there. Like, they showed it to us. There was guys coming in with a lot of sobriety, but none of that stuff clicked. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't register to me at the time. And I got home, and like once again, when I got back, I thought things was gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Like in that same night, I have a really bad blackout. I go and get, decide me and my brother and my son's mama decide we're gonna drink something. And me, like for me, when I put one in, like I can't just take one shot and set the bottle down. Like I'm in there with the bottle in my hand, like walking around with the liquor bottle, drinking it. Like I can't put it down. And like I'm sitting on the porch out there with them, and I black out and out there, F the police and, the whole ordeal, like just raising Cain. And shortly after that, man, like my sons, like we lost that place. They ended up cutting the power off. Social service ended up getting involved. I ended up having to, just so my son wasn't getting taken from me. Like I couldn't live with that. Like social services taking my son and not being able to get him. So, like that's where my mom and my stepdad took a huge step forward for their grandbaby, and then stepped up and was like, look, we'll take care of him. Why don't you try to get on your feet? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you try to do something different with your life? And like they preached this on it, they preached it so much, and my stepdad preached it so much. They're like, y'all are gonna be the death of your mama if y'all don't stop. Like y'all are killing your mama, and none of it registered, none of it. I kept doing what I was doing, and so in June, my first sobriety date was in June of 2015. When I signed all that, I went to treatment at Samaritan Colony. I went to detox, and I went to Samaritan Colony for 28 days. And my son's mama went to treatment up at Dove's Nest in Charlotte. Like we was taking that step to do something different. And I was doing really well, man. Like I was coming up on 6 months. I was living in Dunn. Like as they talked about it at the colony, like the first 2 weeks, like when I was there the first time, like I butted heads with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I butted heads with all of them. Like got in a fight with Mark, Pat, Robert. I couldn't get in an argument with. I mean, how can you argue with Robert Smith? You know what I mean? Like you just can't. And so when I went, they sent me to Dunn, and it was like my mom and my stepdad dropped me off, and they was crying, like, hey, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be something different. And I wanted something different, but I wasn't doing it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing it to get that family back together. I wanted that relationship back with the woman that I started with when we first got together, that we didn't use. You know what I'm saying? Used together in the beginning, and it got, where it got to. And while I was in Dunn, man, I got an awesome job. I was building truck bodies up there, man. Look, that man back there, he was in Dunn with me, still sober today, man. He was living in Dunn with me. And I was building truck bodies in Dunn. I had making awesome money. Living at a halfway house. Going to a bunch of meetings, man, doing the deal, but I wasn't doing the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just there, like as they taught me in the colony, man. Like I wasn't doing the gratitude list every day. I wasn't doing the readings in the mornings, and like when my sponsor told me to call him, I wouldn't call him. I would text him. You know what I mean? Like I just wasn't doing them small things that I was taught at the colony to do every day. And when the time came, whenever I come home and I see my brother and my son's mother had got kicked out of treatment in Charlotte, and my mom was giving her a chance to live at her house, when it was put in front of my face, man, I wasn't spiritually grounded. Like none of it, like all them consequences that was getting ready to come did not register. Like none of it. Like me getting kicked out of the halfway house, my mama sitting there crying her eyes out again. Everything going straight down the drain, because like Mark puts it, I gave everything up for 3 seconds of pleasure, which I did. And but once again, my mama stepped up. She got me a place and helped me get a place in Dunn. She put all this money towards it, bought me a room and everything, man. And like Mark told her, he said, don't do it. You need to let him go, do it on his own. But, they stepped up again. They helped me get my own place. And I I got back. I got back in it. I jumped right back in, man, and stayed sober for about 2 months, man. And in February, like right around January, man, like me and my son's mom was working things out, and you know, like I kind of found out she was, you know, doing her own thing, man, and I was doing some stuff that I never would have, you know, thought that I would do in my whole life. Like, I'm not going to say what it was, but, you know, a lot of you people in here know that's been there. Like, I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing, but, you know, like, once I did it, I couldn't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just could not stop. Like, once I put that first one in me again, man, like, it was on to the races. And, like, I think it says in Bill's story, too, like, when he got drunk again, like, it was like going off a ski slope. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, I did go like, whew, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, and my mom and my stepdad was coming to see me, and like, they knew something was different. Like, you can't get nothing by your parents. Like, they knew something was different. And I'm like, oh, I'm fine, you know, I'm doing good, I'm paying my bills, you know, I'm working, yada, yada, yada. And then it got to that point again, like, where I'd run out of money. I didn't have no friends. Like, my family wasn't there. Like, my son wasn't there. I was living on my own. I became miserable. And I was, you know, I really didn't want to live no more, man. Like, I felt like there was nothing there for me. And, like, it just hit me that night, you know, and I was just like, you know, they say people ask God for help. You know, I was sitting there and I was asking God why, you know. And then, like, it clicked. Like, I knew where the help was at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I picked up that phone, what I did not do from the beginning, and I called Mark Christopher. And Mark Christopher tells me, he's like, you know what you got to do. Like, you get the detox, you call me when you get the detox. And my mama come up there to Dunn. Once again, my mama, she loves me to death. So does my stepdad. After getting sober this time, I look back and, like, I thank God for my stepdad, because 21 years with my stepdad, my stepdad has taken care of us. My family's took care of my mama. He's helped raise my son. He's raised 4 kids. They did it together, and I'm very grateful for them today. You know, once again, my mama shows up in Dunn, and she's sitting there on the couch, and she's looking at me, and I'm like, what, Mom? And she's just like crying her eyes out. And she was like, I'm watching my son die in front of me, you know, and I'm like, whatever, Mom, you know, like, I did not care at that time. But today I look at that like I was hurting my mom, like, you know, I don't know, man, like, it was, when I look at it today, if I could go back, I would try not to let it happen. But everything, like it says in the book, everything happens for a reason. But my mom was sitting there and doing that, and, you know, and I went to Charlotte, went to detox for 7 days. Mark got me into Bridges of Recovery, and I sat there for 3 weeks. And, oh my God, dude, like, whoever's been to Bridges of Recovery knows, like, dude, I started to get miserable because it was just like, you're sitting out in the woods in a house, like, with nothing to do, man. But I'm grateful I sat out there for 3 weeks because it let my brain clear up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I went in treatment this time, I actually soaked everything up. Like, it was a different experience for me instead of going in there still fog-minded, you know, not being able to see nothing for 2 weeks, but actually getting to see everything for 28 days that I was there. You know, Mark and them let me come to Aberdeen on, you know, I did my 28 days there, and I got there on 4/18 of 16. My sober date is 2/23 of 16. I'm gonna get my year medallion, but you know, it was just a year, 2 days ago. You know, I got to the recovery home of 4/18, man, and like I'm seeing all these guys with like 10 months, been there, and they like coming up on a year sober, the whole nine, and it's just like, dang, man, you know, like you know, I heard so much good about it, but like my first month sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't find a job. I had no car. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm walking to find a job. But I'm grateful for that today because, you know, like they kept telling me, like, you know, just keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up. Keep doing it. Keep working your program. Keep calling your sponsor. And I asked Brian, I asked him to be my sponsor at the colony before I got out. And he's like, will you call me? And I asked, you know, there's just 2 questions I need to ask you. He asked me them 2 questions. And I called him when I got out. And he kind of, you know, I was like antsy to start reading the book, but he like held off on me for a week or 2. I think it was like a little over a week just to see if I was gonna, I guess just to see if I was gonna stay. But dude, like, I got a job. Like, it sucked, but I was working at PetSmart, working 3rd shift, 2:30 in the morning. I was making just enough money to pay my rent, $125 a week. That's all I made. You know what I'm saying? Like, and every once in a while I might make a little more, like to buy me some cigarettes. You know, Mama was helping me, you know, that's why I'm grateful for my mama, man. You know, like, she helped me get cigarettes when I needed them, you know what I'm saying? Like, or when I wanted them. But she wouldn't give me no money, though. Like, you know, like today, she still won't give me no money. She'd be like, what do you need from the store? What, you need cigarettes? You need gas? Like, because, you know, even though she trusts me a little bit today, she hasn't fully gained all that trust back. And, but dude, over the course of 10 months of me living at that house, man, I've made a lot of good friends. I've met a lot of good people in here. You know, my sponsor's my best friend today. I can tell him anything. It's on my chest. Like I said, I met a lot of your friends in here. And I was working 2 jobs at one point, man, and I was working PetSmart and Pine Needles. And in that course of time, like, I hadn't had my license in 4 years, and I was able to get my license back. Well, it's not a full license, but it's a limited provisional license. Like, I can actually drive on the highway to and from work, to a meeting. And, but, you know, but in a couple months, I'll get my actual license back. And I'm going to, you know, just praying about it and hope it all works out. I'm going to get my CDLs and, you know, try to start doing a few bigger things, you know. And but like I said, over the 10 months, like, man, like, Brian, when I was here for the first 2 weeks, man, he made me get in here. Like, Frank remembers it. I was so nervous sitting right there, chair in a Friday, I think it was a Friday night meeting. And it was just like all these people in here. And like, you know, a month's sobriety, dude, and I was freaking out. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm grateful for that today because I met a lot of new friends. I made a lot of new friends here. And today, man, I got my family back. I got my mom, my stepdad sitting back there, my nana, her husband, and JW sitting back there, which is my girlfriend, which I'm grateful for. All of them, all my family, they got together tonight, man. Me and my best friend, he showed up. He didn't know it, but I didn't know it neither. My whole family was there to eat dinner and surprise me for 1 year of sobriety. And like, damn, dude, like, I don't know, man, like that my heart just filled full of, I don't know, warmth, and my body just felt so good. Like, man, that's so much better than going to get high or get drunk. Like, it's so much better. And they bring a cake out, and it's got his name on it too. So, yeah, so that was pretty good. 2 best friends since day one, getting sober together, man. Like, me and him's been through some shit together. But like I said, man, like, going through here, my son, you know, I want to talk about my son. Like, that's a blessing right there, man. Like, actually being able to get to pick him up, take him to park, pick him up from school, you know, celebrate his birthday sober. Like, man, there's all these little things, you know, waking up with him, rubbing your face in the mornings, and how much, you know, wake up, daddy, you know, like, just all these little things, man, that makes life so good today. But when it comes to here, man, like, this is where I owe all my gratitude, is to hear, man, like, that y'all teaching me how to live, showing me that there is a different way to live, and there's a better way to live than what I was living. And today I'm able to walk a guy through the book. Like, although Frank shares it, freely giving what's been given to me, giving it back. to the new guy. I love helping the new guys when they come in. I love making new friends. I got a lot of friends today. I think they're my friends, but I think they are because it showed it whenever I got my 1 year. How many of them truly cared and congratulated me, and how much they enjoyed me being here. I owe a lot of gratitude towards the colony. They're a big part of my life. Also, man, like my brother, like that, I didn't mention a whole lot of my brother in my story, but my brother was the guy that I first used everything with. Like even though we're best friends, like that's who I did my stuff with. But today, like my brother stayed sober in 4 months and 5 months in the county, and come home, and now today he's at the colony. He's in the treatment center, and hopefully to the grace of God he'll stay sober. But like he's got to do it too. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot of action. Here and there, it's a simple program. We'll make it complicated. I don't know. I just love being here. I love this building, man. This building, 3 meetings a day. Like I wouldn't have been able to make my meetings if there wasn't 3 meetings here. Working 2 jobs, like I was making a noon meeting every day. Maybe I had to do my 90 over 3 times. My sponsor made me, but I'm grateful for that, man. Like that stuff right there helped me stay sober, man. Like making my meetings. But yeah, man. It's so hard to share so much gratitude into the program of Alcoholics Anonymous for saving my life, man. But I love this place, man, and I love being here, and I love all you guys. And I just want to tell y'all thank you for letting me share tonight.